fucking weird dream the other night. I rarely have these types of dreams. Like, most of the shit I have is pretty weird, but this one was elaborate. I always hear dreams from other people saying, like, yeah, I was a superhero, or this was happening, zombie apocalypse. I had my first zombie apocalypse dream ever, very recently. So it started off like this. I was at home. There was just a couple of people at the house. I don't know who they were. I just know that we were survivors. Zombies were trying to get in. So I was, like, kind of sitting and, like, kind of like laying perched over like the door, kind of blocking it. So then I saw fingers coming in through the door, and then like there was a shitload of them outside. And I remember I had this electric carver for carving pumpkins. It's just this little tiny handheld tool, battery operated. And then I just pressed the button and started cutting the zombie's fingers, and it just went, and like they all went away after I just cut that one zombie's finger. So then later on in the dream, we're all like preparing, like, what the fuck do we do? Somebody from the group said, if we douse ourselves in mouthwash, they want nothing to do with us. So then I poured like this whole bottle of Listerine all over my body. And then I walked around town talking shit to the zombies. And I was just, yeah, what the fuck you gonna do now, zombie piece of shit? And I was like pushing the zombies. Like I was bullying the fucking zombies. And then I was just being so mean and saying so much hurtful shit. And we were just going around town, and the zombies, like they would like look at us and then just avert eye contact because we had the mouthwash on. And then I went up to this one zombie and just pushed the fucking zombie so hard. And then the zombie said, "You've made your point." And then I woke up. This is Coffee and Catastrophe with Brent and Gabi.
That's some shit. I don't think I've had any dreams like that recently. I don't think I've ever had a zombie apocalypse dream, to be honest.
I never have. Like it's a very specific set of dreams that I have. I've never had an adventurous one. That was my first adventurous one.
I don't have adventurous ones either. Usually I have like mundane dreams. I did have recently a dream that I woke up from like in a panic. What happened was that I was dating somebody, and then I like found out they were a serial killer and like coming to kill me, and then I woke up. That was it. I had a reoccurring nightmare when I was like probably 7 or 8 that the witch from when she's like a crone from Seven Dwarves, Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, she came and like was killing my entire family and like chasing me. But like I don't really have like dreams that I remember.
Most of the time I dream, I do remember them. Some of them are so, like if I wake up like terrified, I remember them. Some of them are just so weird and fucking random. If I don't record them in some way, I don't remember them. There's like a 15-minute window after I open up my eyes. I'm like, wait, did that just fucking happen? Oh, no, I'll remember that. And then I go back to bed. I wake up a few hours later, and I completely forget about that initial dream.
Same. I have that all the time where I'm like, oh, I'm going to remember that in the morning, and then I never do.
The dream that I have the most is the exact same one, and it's fucking terrifying every time. Well, there's 2 of them. One, I'm driving down the street at night, and it's just darkness outside. There's not even really that many streetlights, but I'm still coming home. And I notice somebody just all of a sudden appears in front of my car, and I'm still driving, and I'm like going to step on the brake. I'm like, oh shit. So I like slam on the brake, and the car is still moving very fast, and I'm about to hit them. And I just wait. I'm like startled awake, and I'm fucking sweaty, and I'm just like hyperventilating. Oh. That's dream number 1. Reoccurring dream number 2. I'm in bed. These are the ones that really fuck with me, that like I would even categorize as night terrors. I actually used to tell people, like, when I would stay at the night at their place or whatever, I'm like, hey, if I freak out, it's kind of normal. It rarely happens, but this is what happens. It's like I'm in bed, I'm laying down, I'm in the exact same position I fall asleep in, and there's kind of like a spotlight hanging over my bed, like a dangling lamp where light is emanating from, and it shines down on whatever is like next to me in bed or standing by me at bed. Most of the time it's roadkill. Like, I'll just see, like, a dead fucking raccoon in my bed, like, over the corner, and then I see it, and I'm like, oh, shit! And, like, I just, like, scramble out of bed, and I fucking pull a blanket with me, and I'm, like, running to, like, the wall to turn on the fucking light, and I'm just like, what the fuck happened? There was a dream like that I had the other night. One of the worst ones. It was the same situation. My bed is kind of stuffed in the corner of the room to where, like, the walls intersect. and like form the corner. So like I'm facing towards the right of the wall, and then to the left of me is like how I get out of the bed. Where the wall is, you can't get, like no one can be there, but I saw the spotlight and it looked like the fucking janitor I had in high school, whom I haven't thought about in at least 15 years. And he was wearing like a high visibility vest, and he was just fucking standing there. And I just said, "Ah, shit!" I fucking ran out of the room. I like went to the hallway, and I was just freaking the fuck out. Like I was like tunnel vision, like just from almost blacking out. And my heart was racing. I was just profusely sweating. I was like, "Oh shit, what the fuck?" Like the whole house was up. Like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm just like, "Oh fuck, okay, I'm cool." And then I just like I like look one more time to make sure they're not there. And like this is like I'm like an adult. I'm a grown fucking man having this shit.
I also have dreams where I like only once in a while, because like I said, I don't really dream that often. And like when I say that, what I mean is like biologically, we all dream at night. We all dream. We have them every single night. It's just a matter of like whether you remember them or not. I don't think it was that night that I had the dream that the person was coming to kill me. Although I did wake up like heavy breathing and like anxious, like felt the adrenaline flowing. I've had dreams before where I think there's someone like in the corner and I literally get out of bed and like hit the wall. Like I've had this happen like 2 or 3 times where I just like, and it's pretty comical because sometimes I sleep naked and then I'm just like, I imagine it'd be pretty funny if all of a sudden just like a naked person jumps out of bed and like punches the wall. That's me. I've done that like that a couple times. My thing is I just do weird shit in my sleep. Like when I was in college, my boyfriend at the time was spending the night and I ripped a poster off my wall while I was asleep. It was above my bed and I apparently, according to my boyfriend, I just like put my arm up, grabbed it and like ripped it down off the wall. And in the morning, I like got up to go to the bathroom and I was like, "Why is my poster on the wall?" And he's like, "You don't remember ripping that off?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Well, you did." So yeah, I remember being like 13 and like getting up in the middle of the night and like going to like take a shower and then like one of my parents coming to get me and being like, "Honey, it's like 2 a.m. What's going on?" And I'm like, "I need to go to school." And they're like, "No, you don't. It's 2 a.m. I'm like, "Yes, I do." And I'm like in my pajamas in the shower. So
Have you been diagnosed with sleepwalking?
have I been diagnosed? No. Have I sleptwalked? Yes. Usually I'm really stressed out, but that's it doesn't happen very often as far as I know.
See, I've never sleptwalked.
Like ever?
No, I've never like woken up in the fridge and I was just putting in a fucking package of crackers and I was cutting up the, last remaining celery on top of cheese.
See, I've never like done something other than like gotten in the shower or tried to go talk to somebody like my mom. And I know it runs in my family. My mom does it. Her brother did it. I think my brother did. My brother did have night terrors for a time. It was really scary.
Yeah, I still have that shit now. It's a little more infrequent. The car driving dream happens at least once a week.
Once a week? That's terrifying.
Like my whole fucking life.
Well, and you've told me about the roadkill dream, but like, oh my God, dude, that's so scary.
Yeah, and it's always it's weird how it's just a spotlight coming from above, just illuminating down on it too. Sometimes like I've had dreams where I'm like kind of in this sleep paralysis state. So for those of you who don't know, sleep paralysis is when you're like in between like waking and like just REM sleep. Your body just completely, you can't move, but you're there. Like you open your eyes and you're conscious. But it's kind of like in the movie Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, where he's like, there's a segment where he's dreaming and then like he like pries his eyes open in the dream, and in his waking life he wakes up and he's still. So it was very much like that. And then I usually have those sleep paralysis dreams, but I also hear loud noises coming from outside. Like I hear like very loud stomps, like somebody like marching up the stairs with like heavy boots on, like bop, 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 bop. And then like I like try to be as still as I can, because in my unconscious mind I'm thinking, well, if I just stay still they won't see me. But that's like what I'm thinking, even though it's logically, if someone really did break into the house and like marched upstairs, it'd be like, yeah, the guy's fucking sleeping. Like he wouldn't be like, where is it? I can't see him. Oh, that guy's completely still. He must not, like, it's not like that at all. But it's like almost like a child. like the way they would think or something. But I still revert back to that every fucking time I have those dreams.
That's interesting. Yeah, I can't imagine what that's like because I just like I have like one scary dream like here and there. Most of the time I don't remember my dreams like at all. I don't think I've had a recurring dream in a long time. And again, like you said, like I'll remember them within the first like 10 minutes of waking up, but that's really it. But yeah, no, I don't have like any, I think I was telling you earlier, like I'm kind of concerned that maybe I don't get like deep enough sleep. When I used to wear a Fitbit, it used to tell me that I would get like a lot of light sleep, but not really deep sleep. And oddly enough, like what you were describing reminded me of like we've got like the 3 responses, like fight, flight, or freeze.
Yeah.
My response is totally freeze. Like it's freeze and then it's run. But when I used to hear things, I would just freeze in bed. Like I was like, couldn't move.
Yeah. Most of the time I'm like running, fucking panic, like getting the fuck out of there, Forrest Gumping it, like out of the room. Do you think dreams have meaning?
I was going to ask you the same thing. I think from my psychology degree background, I know that most of the time it's your brain processing the day, but I've never had a dream where it like predicted something. You know what I mean?
Like beyond premonition.
Yeah. I haven't had that. I know people in my life have. Like my mom has premonitions. I don't think any of my dreams really had meaning. What about you?
I think they do. And not in like a metaphysical kind of divine
like spirit visiting you and giving you messages type thing.
Yeah, I mean there are some dreams that are very unexplainable. Like I had one almost like a premonition. I had a dream that like my dad lost his job.
Oh my God.
And this is in 2008. And when I woke up, I came downstairs and he had just lost his job.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and it was completely random. There was no signs of him being laid off. Everything was fine. His routine was normal. It was in the middle of the week. It was actually the night after David Cook won American Idol in May 2008, like whenever the fuck that was. So like everyone was fine, and this is a Thursday. And I come downstairs, I'm like, Dad, why are you home? He's like, oh, they just fired me. And I was like, what the fuck? So like he got up early, went downtown, took the fucking train all the way downtown, got to work. They said, you're fired. And then he took the train back home. And then, yeah.
Oh my God.
And I dreamt that.
Oh my God.
And it happened.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's fucking trippy, dude.
Most of the time, like I've been thinking a lot about this in terms of dreams with meaning. Like I kind of think of dreams kind of like music in a sense where when you're in that state, your mind's trying to make sense of things. So you have this, at least with me, like this is kind of how it is for me. I have this intense feeling, even a ruminating thought, like, oh, fuck, this is going to happen at work. This is going to happen at this place. This is going to happen with this person. This is what's going to happen with me. All this stuff. So I think what my mind does is like, it's just this fucking like cauldron of just shit swirling around in there of like shapes, people, sizes, images. So what it does is just to kind of match what I'm feeling. It takes like these pictures and just kind of like puts them in front of my vision to kind of like act it out in a sense. So I'm feeling really stressed out. Like if I want to get, let's just say, revenge on somebody. You know, what it does is it just takes people, maybe not even in the, like the people who have wronged me. It just takes shit from like my past and just puts that shit there as a placeholder. So like in my dream, I'm like acting it out. And a lot of the times it's not even the person that's like, you know, like I'll give you an example. In 6th grade, I had this crush on a girl in my class. And I remember those, you remember those little Love Is newspaper cartoons every day in like the comic section.
What did they look like?
It was like a fucking naked guy and a girl naked, but they're drawn very cartoon. They weren't anatomically correct.
I don't think I remember these.
And it's just like Love Is, and it just says like waiting for you to come home, and it's just like a picture of somebody like waiting, walking through the fucking door. It's like silly, corny shit. So I would cut these out for her, and I would just give them to her, and you know, that was it. I haven't thought about her for over a decade by the time I had this dream. However, by the time when I had this dream, I was not even working in the warehouse job I have now. I was just working at a warehouse where I've had no prior experience. So I ran into her in the stock room, and it wasn't her. It was actually the cashier, like, chick from Burger King, whom I've had no connection or feelings or any. It was just a cashier chick from Burger King.
Are you sure you didn't have feelings for her? She's popping up in your dream, buddy.
Dude, but I was just like, hey, Blanca, remember me? And then, like, it wasn't Blanca. It was the fucking cashier from Burger King. So the cashier from Burger King, she, like, jumped into my arms because she remembered. Aww. And then that was the whole dream. So I don't know what the fuck that was. But it was just these weird, like, sometimes I have dreams, like, where I'm, like, reacting to someone and it's not the person. It's somebody. It's fucking weird.
So my brother told me this, and I don't know if it's real or not, but apparently every person you see in your dreams is someone you've seen in real life. They're never made up, supposedly. I don't know if that's true.
So, like, if you think of it, if you do the math, how many people have you just walked past in your lifetime?
Right.
You know, like, you see
a million, maybe thousands, like
maybe even billions, just by, like, especially, like, with technology now, how you see ads and then just videos. So, like, you've probably seen close to at least a representation of every type of person in the world, which is why, like, it's so rare for us, at least now as an adult, to see someone whom we've never seen like that before.
Yep.
I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, it does, yeah.
Like, with different attributes mixed up. So it might just be an amalgamation of a bunch of shit going on in your brain just processes, like, somebody that could exist like that. But it's like, kind of like, I see that as, like, even when I'm looking at them, I see peripheral vision. Like, right now, like, my hands are extended, like, to my left and to my right. I can't see either of my hands clearly, but I know they're there and shit. So that's kind of like with people. It's really rare. Like, I'm able to, like, clearly make out details on someone's face. And when I do, I kind of wake up and, like, know it's a dream. It's fucking weird.
I wish I could relate so bad. I just, like, I honestly don't know how anyone would find that restful, though, also. Like, I think I mentioned to you before that, like, when I go to bed, it's like bed, time lapse, get up. It's now a new time. Like, and I definitely am a light sleeper when it comes to, like, the work week. I try to get my 8 hours in to be, like, to, like, take care of my body, because that's, like, usually what I need. But, like, I'm always on edge and fearful that I'm going to miss my alarm. And so, like, I definitely, like, don't get the best of sleep, like, ever.
Do you feel, like, tired throughout the day and shit?
No, not really. Like, I know I am sleeping, but I have better days and worse days. It used to be that my sleep would be really bad and I wouldn't get my 8 hours. I'd get, like, 6.5 or 7. And then on the weekend, my body would, like, get all the rest it could, and I'd sleep for, like, 12 hours. Like, not good. So I feel fine most of the time. I think, like, it helps. I get, like, better sleep when I'm, like, more active physically, but, you know, that waxes and wanes with, like, what's going on in my schedule.
Yeah. So I guess as long as you're not feeling, like, tired, like, just in the afternoon, just, like, ready to fucking keel over.
Right.
Just from pure exhaustion.
You know, it's really funny that we're talking about dreams. Some of my students, for their student newspaper, they're writing an article about dreams and, like, the history of them and, like, what different groups think the significance of dreams are. So, like, they brought up the fact that, like, you know, the Lakota, and I think it was actually Ojawabi. There's a tribe of Native Americans who, like, created the dream catcher, and then, like, the Lakota Native Americans, like, took it as their tradition. But, you know, even the significance of a dream catcher, like, either releasing the bad dreams and keeping the good dreams, is, like, interesting and symbolic. But they believed dreams have, like, a really big significance in, like, across Native American tribes, but also in ancient Egypt. They thought they were, like, super significant and, like, communing with gods and ancestors.
Yeah. See, like, I like that kind of metaphor. I don't know if I've had a good dream. Like, I don't know what a good dream is. Like,
I usually just have mundane dreams. I think a good dream would be, like, you meeting someone you, like, really love.
I think maybe I've had a couple where I've had an intense moment of clarity in the dream to where I carried that over, like, when I woke up and I completely felt relieved of a situation. Like, I did have a dream where in the regret episode, I had that interaction with that teacher, and in the dream, I don't know what led up to it or what happened afterwards, but I just remember like we were talking, and whatever that conversation was, I felt such a huge weight lifted off of my shoulders when I woke up.
Wow.
And I don't know what the fuck that was. And I haven't felt the same about that entire situation since.
Wow.
And it was because of that fucking dream. Like everything I've done in my waking life, no matter how much progress I've made and like writing the letter and trying to communicate and doing an entire fucking podcast about it, it didn't bring me that closure like this fucking dream did. And it wasn't even around the time when all this was happening. This was just like a stray dream, like down the line, like years later, completely unrelated to anything else that was going on in my life at the time.
Dude, while you were talking about that, I thought of the antithesis of getting closure from a dream and getting disclosure from a dream. Like, have you ever, like, I had the experience of, or I've heard the joke about, like, oh, girlfriend has a dream that you cheated on her and then she takes it out with you on in your, like, waking life or whatever.
Yeah.
And I did, again, in another list of crazy shit Gabby's done in her sleep, and I think I've talked about this one on here. I broke up with my boyfriend in my sleep as well. Like, rolled over, told him, you know, you're not my boyfriend, right? And, like, rolled back over. And he said he woke up and was like, what? What do you mean? And then he realized I was asleep, and then he's like, oh, never mind. And he told me about it the next day.
So that was probably part of your sleepwalking too. You think that was like, were you kind of feeling that mentally around that time that happened, or were you like just like head over heels, like in lovey-dovey?
You know, it happened so early on in our relationship. I have to think I was super lovey-dovey. Like, I think I must have been like super. It was like literally probably the first like 5 or 6 months of dating. You know, when you're just like mushy gushy, so in love, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the best. I'm trying to think the best. I've had like, first off, I don't have sexy dreams. Like, I don't have dreams where I'm getting it on. Never have that. I don't know. I can't imagine the people who do. Like, I'm like, I just have never had one, like, ever. I've had dreams where I've like kissed people, but never like sexy time dream. Most of the time, like, if I have a dream, it's like, oh, I went to the grocery store and I forgot to buy pineapple, and there was some weird shit at the grocery store, and that's like it.
I occasionally have a sexy dream, but it's always some weirdness involved. It's
like there's a dead possum in your bed.
I wish. like okay, maybe I've talked about this in a previous episode. I don't know. It was one dream when I was little. I had a dream I was walking around the mall, and then I was asking women to flash me.
Oh my God.
However, they did, except they all had square bodies and square tits.
What?
So like perfectly like square, so it looked like it was just weird. And then when they showed me the song "I Want Candy," it was fucking blasting like on the PA system.
What the fuck?
And I woke up so aroused from this shit.
Oh my God.
Like 11 years old, just fucking completely like, holy shit, that was the best dream I've ever had.
God. Oh my God.
Then I had like another dream, like where this is around puberty too. Like I was in this old ass house, and I was going upstairs a spiral set of like a staircase of spiral stairs. And I went to like the attic, and then the woman I was going to have sex there was completely naked, and she was covered in powder, like talcum powder, like from head to toe.
Ew.
And then that was the end of the dream. I didn't even like start. This is weird shit. Like the most recent one I had was just a reflection of like my current like life, where this one girl I had feelings for, me and her were watching TV, like in the bedroom, and we were sitting really far away from each other when we were watching TV. But I was thinking about her the whole time.
Aww.
And I was just like, what the fuck? Like there was no other bizarre shit. Like, because typically if I had that dream years ago, it would have been like, oh, a fucking whooping crane shot down, and then all of a sudden I had the sudden urge to eat potato chips and cut a fucking cucumber or some goofy. It's always weird shit like that.
I can't relate. I have like no weird dreams, no nothing. Like, so lame. So lame.
Fuck. I do think they do have meaning in a sense where, whether we know it or not, our brains are so complex to like solve problems and think about this shit, and well, like all the senses are dulled almost like kind of like alcohol in a sense. It just takes all this shit together, puts it in one little fucking cohesive hourly vision, and we figure shit out. Because it's weird. Like, I heard dreams happen to us. You know what I'm saying? Because like it's for me, maybe there's people who are like, okay, I'm gonna dream I'm gonna be at a fucking tennis game and I'm gonna win the game, and then they sleep and then they have the exact dream. I've never heard of that. It's always just you go to bed. Sometimes like when you're filled with stress, you carry over some shit and like you wake up and like that's when I usually have more of my like night terrors, when I'm really aggravated and I wake up, I'm like, what the fuck? So most of the time though, it's completely random shit. A lot of it is probably like just very deep to what I'm feeling. One of the most horrifying dreams I've ever had. I've had a few dreams like where I've killed people, but
people you know or random people?
People I've known.
Ugh.
You know, like one dream I had where I was at my house, and it was weird because this is in my childhood bedroom. I have a lot of recurring dreams where I'm in my childhood bedroom, more of which I'll get to later on. But this one in particular, it was like a house party. And everyone was in my childhood bedroom from my adult life. So then all of a sudden, I fucking, like, just start... I don't know if in this one I was hitting him with a bat or if I was just choking him, like, putting him in a rear naked choke from behind. But I killed him. And then everybody around me, like while he was on the ground and I was, like, holding his dead body in my arms, everyone was, like, standing over me, like, in a commotion, just like, what the fuck, rah, 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 rah. So then... I like went downstairs into the living room and then I put on a fucking mask and then laid down on the floor with my hands behind my back. And then like when the cop walked into the house, the cop was like friendly, like, hey, what's going on here? And then like everyone was like, hey, I did this. And then all of a sudden the cop's like, oh shit. Blah, 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 blah. And then the cop just arrested me and then I fucking woke up.
I have no words. What the hell?
I know, right?
Like, what the actual hell?
But, like, months later, I had a dream where the same person that I had killed in this dream, I was very friendly with them and gave him a hug and woke up feeling so much fucking peace. I don't know. It's so weird. Like, the way all this shit...
You get so much closure from your dreams. It's really cool.
I know. It's a curse. Because most of them they're weird or they're fucking... Like, I've been having a lot of recurring dreams where I'm in my childhood bedroom. Not even the current bedroom, where I have actually been sleeping longer, like, than my childhood bedroom. Whenever I'm in my childhood bedroom, though... Everything is set up the exact same way of how it was. Like, it's still my childhood bed. I had a race car bed. Like, the fucking...
Oh, you did? Yeah. You're so lucky.
Yeah. It was like a big wooden... I don't know. It was like plastic and fucking fiberglass, and it had tires on it, and it was like a single, mattress. And it was small because, I was a child. So... that's still there, and my bookcase with all of my books, but everything in the room is completely covered with fucking dust.
Dude.
And I could just smell it, and it just like smells like really musty and kind of dusty and old, kind of like how like a Goodwill stockroom smells.
So you have senses when you dream.
Yeah.
I don't think I do.
Really?
No, like I can't even tell you if I have color when I dream. Like if I see color. Like I can't really remember, to be honest. And I've like heard things in my sleep, but like it's not normal. Or like I don't really feel things either. Like I don't taste things, like nothing. Yeah.
It's really so like you see black and white, like, or do you
like I'm trying to think of if I can like say with certainty that I dream in color, and I don't think I can.
Damn.
You know what I mean? Like I just like I feel like there's, or maybe I have some dreams in color and some are in black and white.
I've never had a black and white dream.
Like, I'm trying to think about, like, the one that I had most recently that I woke up scared from, I can't tell you for certain it was in color.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's...
spooky.
That's deep.
Yeah. One of my kids who was working on this story asked, do blind people dream? And I said, yeah, of course they do. And he was like, but what do they dream of? And so I think I've talked about before on here that I have an uncle who's both blind and deaf. And he had sight until he was about 18. And then he has retinitis pigmentosa, which is your retina starts the rods and cones of your eyes start dying. And so he still has like some shadow and light sense. And that's the other thing is like only like 3 or 7% of the blind population actually has zero sight. The rest of them have some form of like light and like shadow. And I would imagine that he probably sees what he saw before he lost his sight, or B, the shadows and the light, and he makes sense of it.
What if they had dreams like it's like how old movies look, like black and white and just fucking fuzzy.
I mean, if that's what your vision is, like I would have to imagine that's what it looks like, right? Because like what else is your reference point? If it's your brain processing information from the day, like I'm sure they like I like feel things like emotion, I guess I would say in my dream, like that like comes in. I bet that happens to blind people when they dream.
It probably does. At least like with me, I'm able to like smell, feel.
Oh my God, I can't smell things. I can't taste things.
They're very vivid. The only thing I can't really do is make out text. Like if I'm reading a book or a sign. Like,
I know exactly what you mean.
Like I'm looking at something, I think it's jumbled, but then my brain makes sense of it.
Yes, I've had that. Or like if someone's saying something and like I can't actually hear them, but I know what they're saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's very fucking difficult to put into words because it happens almost every single night. Every dream's completely different. And I've learned a lot about myself just from my dreams, like my temperament and just kind of like all of that shit. Most of the time, I'm just running away from shit, which is like, oh God, it's kind of like the fuck it is in my waking life. You know, I'm like kind of running away from my goals and have been for a long time, or at least the ones that I know I should be pursuing, like comedy. My dreams, I'm always running away from like shit that's like metaphorical, or there's something like part of my past like just keeps coming up, like no matter what. I just know like some of this shit's absurd too. Like I had one dream where I was in a fucking swamp, like cornfield, like there's like a lot of just tall grass and swamplands with fucking Philip Seymour Hoffman as he was acting as Capote. And we had a fucking cardboard box that we were trying to make fly. And he was flying on this fucking cardboard box that was like flattened. And then I was like, dude, let me try. So I started flying. And then he started saying some shit like, yes, you know, you can do like whatever the fuck he was saying in Capote voice. And then my shit just fucking, I'm just like, God damn it. And then like I woke up and that was it.
I have no idea. When you wake up from one of these things, what do you feel?
When I wake up, like most of the time, like I'm sleeping on my stomach, and then I kind of like push myself up, like as if it's like a yoga pose, like from going fucking like prone to like Cobra, and I'm like, what the fuck just happened? And then I just go back down and fucking go back to bed.
I will say, I don't know if this is the closest thing that I've gotten to dreaming while awake. I started EMDR therapy, which I forget what the acronym is, but it is, you do this therapy when you have like trauma. And what happens in it is like it kind of works off of visualization. So you and your therapist decide on like a target memory and you describe it and like what kind of like the core message or signal you get from that memory is. And then you like do this thing where you like float back, quote unquote, which means that you like literally feel yourself going back to that moment. And then once you like report it out to your therapist, then they like, I'm not sure if like my therapist like makes note of it or whatever, but then they'll ask for you to like find like, okay, like sit with that and see what comes up from that. Like when you sit in that, and then things will crop up around it. And how she explained it to me is what's happening in that moment is your brain is literally connecting like memories and things in your brain so that they like make sense to you. So like all the moments that keep appearing in your life and your memories they're trying to like connect and show you like how they like work together to like form a narrative that you have in your head.
It makes a lot of sense too. If I were to like have further time away, like when I like last year when I wrote in my journal every day, I revisited some of those dreams that I had at the time. I'm like, why the fuck am I having this dream? But looking at it a year later, I'm like, holy shit, that made perfect sense as to why I was having that dream.
Isn't it crazy how just like time offers so much perspective? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Fucking, I remember like one of the very first dreams I had, I was like 3 years old. It was like, this is the first night terror I remember having. I was terrified of fucking Billy Baloney from Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Which one's Billy Baloney?
He was the fucking little puppet that we go, I'm Billy Baloney.
Well, he's a puppet, so he's fucking terrifying to begin with.
Yeah, I'm still afraid of fucking ventriloquist dolls to this day. So as a 3-year-old, I'm dreaming that mom and dad wheeled in a gigantic fucking Billy Baloney statue by the Christmas tree and then... And I was looking at it, and it looked at me, and I ran downstairs screaming, "Mommy, Billy Baloney's trying to get me." And then she said, "What?" And then I said, "Yeah." And then I just went back to bed. And then you laughed at me.
I'm sorry I laughed. It's just when you said... you started off with Billy Baloney scared me from Pee-wee's Playhouse. And then I had a dream that my parents wheeled in a statue of him next to the Christmas tree. It's really funny. I'm sorry for laughing at your pain and terror.
No, it's fine. It's just that... I didn't think it was funny at 3 years old. If I thought it was funny, I would have been like yuck yuck, har har, tee hee. Oh, that was a swell dream. God damn it! And then no, that was my first night terror.
So here's my thing: would it just end with you saying "Mommy's gonna get me" and her saying no, or would he like pursue you? Would he try to kill you?
No, me running down the stairs was me waking up as soon as he looked at me in the dream. He looked at me. The fucking statue looked at me.
That's fucking...
And then I fucking like shot up out of my bed and like went from prone to standing like a fucking acrobat.
That is fucking hysterical.
And I just fucking just fucking tumbled down the stairs like, he's trying to get me. And she's like, oh. But then that was fuzzy. But yeah, I wish I had less of those fucking dreams.
So to this day, do you have night terrors?
Yeah. I had that one with the janitor last week.
God. And do you consider the one with the dead animal in your bed a night terror?
Yeah, because I still wake up and I still like, sometimes I calmly get up and walk over to my wall to turn on the light. And then other times, like, I'm like fucking scrambling out of bed, trying not to trip over my hoppies and not to trip over my blanket and eat shit and break my fucking teeth and like trying to turn on the light and shit. It's fucked up.
Damn, dude, damn.
Yeah. So by the times I do sleep, I have noticed where if I take tryptophan pills before bed, they're so lucid and weirder. And then sometimes, like when I took some CBD oil without the THC, I still haven't taken anything without the THC, or anything with the THC rather. Those are even more vivid and lucid and intense and strong. And I'm just waking up like, this is like, what the fuck is going on here? A lot of those dreams are, I am very late going to school, so late to where I get on the bus, I like just make it on the bus, and I look down and I'm like still in my fucking pajamas and shit and make my hobbies. Even as an adult, like I'm like going to fucking like big ass 30-year-old Brent going to fucking middle school on a bus and I'm still wearing my shit.
Wow. I think I've had the classic dream of like, oh, it's my finals and I have this like class that I never went to and now I have to go pass it, like the final. But I don't have anything like that. Dude, I have none of this.
Well, so like what's like the worst dream you've ever had? The worst nightmare, like the one that just fucking haunted you still to this day?
I was a demon and I killed my whole family. I'm not joking.
So your spectrum is forgetting pineapple as seen through black and white, or being a demon and killing everybody.
To be fair, the demon dream I had when I was like 14 and I haven't had it since.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's it though. And I also I've had like the dying dream a lot where like I am falling off a cliff or something like that.
What happened in the demon dream?
Oh, I literally just like I kept blacking in and out, and every time I would like wake up, I would have like blood on my hands, and there would be like another dead family member, and then I like was like, no, it's not me. No, it's not me.
Okay. I kind of feel better about my shit because at least I was killing.
Dick.
Yeah, because I was killing people. I wasn't killing my family. I have had dreams where my family was dying in front of me, which were really fucking traumatizing.
Oh, I now that you've said that, I had a really weird dream where I was in high school and my mom was so we lived in 2 houses when my parents were together, and the second house, like I came upstairs and my mom was sitting in her bed and she just looked at me and she said, well, Gabby, you know, the doctor came over today and he told me it's my time to die. So I'm going to have to take these pills. It's going to take a little bit of time, but then I'm going to die. So you need to say bye to your mom. And I was like, no, I don't want you to die. Don't do it. And she's like, nope, it's my time to go. It's what I got to do. I'm like, okay, I guess that's what you got to do. And so she like takes the pills and I like said my piece and I like went out of the room. And then I came back and she was still alive. I'm like, oh my God, you're still alive. Like, are they not working? And then I woke up.
Do you think there's any deeper meaning to that dream?
I mean, now that my mom was hella depressed
Oh.
at the time, but like, I don't know. Probably like me being like saying my needs of no, I don't want my mom to die. And then her being like, nope, it's what I got to do. And like, there was many a time in life where I felt like my needs weren't met. Probably.
See, like the dreams I have now are where I'm in the house I grew up at and I noticed that there's something going on like in the kitchen, and like I look in the pantry and I noticed there's like an exposed wire, and then there's like a fire or some sort of electricity going on behind the walls, and I'm just trying to find out a way to put out the fucking fire. Or even like one where I was in my childhood room, I looked behind my closet and I saw this gigantic like crater, and it seemed like this fucking valley of like a waterfall. And like just all this water was just dripping down like throughout the fucking house. Like I have these dreams now a lot of the time where like the house is crumbling and decaying or
Oh
like
my
burning.
God.
And I'm like trying to find, and I'm shouting at the top of my lungs for like my family, like my dad, like to call 911 or get some sort of help. And they're just like not knowing what the fuck to do. And I'm trying to like figure out a way to stop it.
Dude.
And it keeps going. And I wake up and I'm like, son of a bitch.
I wish that I had crazy dreams, and I was reminded while you were talking of crazy dreams. Are you familiar with Neil Young?
Heart of Gold guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he has a couple songs that he was in a fever dream state, and he wrote them. One of them is Cinnamon Girl, and there's like another one that he wrote when he was like super sick. And like that's another thing. It's like I have like fever dream weird things. Like I guess it was did this thing come from a fever dream or no? I have a song that sounds like a fever dream, but it's not. Like lyrically it's a fever dream, and I think it came to me, I think it came to me when my ex-boyfriend and I were like about to break up, and I wish I could say it, but if it's going to be on my album I can't. And also it has some weird fucking shit to it. Like animals talking to me in this dream.
What were they saying?
So it was like, I'm like in a desert and like I meet the devil and I ask him for directions. And then buzzards like come and pick me apart and I'm like asking them to stop and they won't. And then this god of these animals like comes and saves me, but I'm like, no, stop, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm saving you, what the fuck? And then like I like run off into the desert moonlight with him. And I can't remember if that was a dream I had or that just came to me one day.
Well, if that was a dream, that's
I can't remember if it was a dream though.
pretty interesting fucking dream.
I can't. A part of me thinks that I didn't dream that though, and I just wrote that. I'm not sure though.
Was this on your way to the store to buy tomatoes, and then you ran into the desert?
I wish. No, I think that's the weirdest. That's probably the. And again, I can't remember. But yeah, that's probably the closest fever dream one. To the point that I was like, it'd be cool to have an album that sounded like a fever dream. The song right now is called Fever Dream in the Desert or Desert Fever Dream.
Well, shit. You're going to be competing with Monsters and Men.
Ugh.
And their song. Well, no, actually, no, their song's Alligator. Never mind. That's not
I don't
called
like
Fever Dream.
Alligator that much.
I do. Well, I mean, I'm biased. I like Monsters and Men.
That's true. I mean, I don't dislike them. I just don't like that song. I mean, I will say the folk pop thing kind of like turned me off after, 2012. But, there's also the famous song Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. I did think of that when we were settled on this topic. Are you familiar with that song?
I probably heard it. Doesn't come to mind right now.
The chorus is thunder only happens when it's raining.
Oh, yeah.
Players only love you when they're playing. Women, they will come, they will go. When the rain washes, you'll know. And I believe the only time the word dreams comes up is Stevie Nicks wrote it about her breakup with Lindsey Buckingham. And because that whole album, Rumors, that was their second album with Fleetwood Mac, Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks, came out in 1976, if I'm not mistaken. And like Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks were like a pair before they joined Fleetwood Mac. And basically they had their own album out in like late 1960s, I think. No, maybe early 1970s. The point being though, they were like a couple and they released this record together and they were just like, we're going to be this duo. And then they got invited one day to Sun Studios or like somewhere and they like met Fleetwood Mac, which was like a 3-piece at the time. Cause that band has gone through like a bunch of iterations. And when they joined the band, after they made their first album with Fleetwood Mac, which was called, the album was called Fleetwood Mac, but it wasn't the first Fleetwood Mac album because Fleetwood Mac originally started in the late 60s as a blues band and then shifted a lot. But like when they joined, then all of a sudden like they started breaking up and like Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham agreed that like their music was more important than their relationship. But Stevie Nicks started dating Mick Fleetwood, the drummer, and it's caused like quite a stir. So that whole album, Rumors, is like every other song is them like yelling at each other. Cause like Nicks wrote songs, Buckingham wrote songs, Christine McVie wrote songs for them. It's just all like, you hear a Christine McVie song and it's beautiful. It's like, oh man, what's that song she has on there? She's just like these beautiful, like, you make love and fun. It's all I wanna do. Like beautiful. And then it's like fucking Dreams, which is like, have you any dreams you'd like to sell? Shoes of loneliness, and about like cheating and like breaking up, and then like fucking Secondhand News. No, not Secondhand News. You Can Go Your Own Way, written by Lindsey Buckingham. He says shacking up's all you want to do, and was like talking to like Stevie Nicks. Dude, that fucking shit is crazy. I fucking love Fleetwood Mac, but drama.
Damn. Well, and at least got some good shit out of there.
Oh my god, yeah. So good. I fucking love Fleetwood Mac.
There's one Fleetwood. Well, wait, what the fuck is it? Go Your Own Way. Yep. Landslide, but that's Stevie Nicks, right?
Yeah. No, that's Fleetwood Mac.
That's Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, that was on their first album. With them. It was on Fleetwood Mac.
I love fucking Landslide,
dude. And that's also about their breakup. Is that she realized that like. When she climbed a mountain and turned around, saw her reflection in the snow-covered hills and the landslide brought her down, she realized like she didn't need, like she's gone all this way and she doesn't need him anymore, basically.
It's an intense fucking song.
Is it Find My Love and Took It Down?
Yeah.
Yeah, Find My Love, Took It Down, climbed a mountain, turned around, saw my reflection in the snow-covered hills, till the landslide brought it down. Yeah. I've been afraid of changing.
Billy Corgan did a cover of that. That was pretty good too.
It's so good. Well, that chorus, I've been afraid of changing because I built my life around you.
Mm-hmm.
Time makes you older. Even children get older. I'm getting older too. She just realizes the relationship is like not going anywhere anymore.
That song, I always liked that song. It really stuck out to me during this one episode of South Park. I think the name of it was "You're Getting Old," and it was when Stan was being cynical, and every song he listened to, it just sounded like shit, like people farting and like diarrheaing. And they're like, "But this is a great song," and he literally was just like all that shit. And then he was walking around town, just like seeing like pieces of shit, like on the movie marquee titles, and like people throwing up shit and like a duck vomiting shit in his face. And then that song was playing, and it was so poignant.
I love Fleetwood Mac. I started listening to them in college. I was like an angsty, slightly depressed, had an eating disorder college student, and like Fleetwood Mac just spoke to me.
Some good shit, man.
It's fucking good.
They're on the topic of dreams. David Lynch is a filmmaker who.
Oh, I hate David Lynch.
I don't like David Lynch either.
Thank God! Everyone needs to stop hopping all over David Lynch's dick. I'm sorry.
I will say, there was one movie I saw
if
where...
you fucking say Mulholland Drive...
No. The one movie I saw where I wanted to, like, plow... Like, just run everybody over in that crowd and get right to his dick was The Straight Story.
Never saw it.
Okay. This... You're in for a fucking treat. It is a G-rated Disney film.
What?
That he directed.
What?
Yes, in 1999.
What?
And it was based on a true story.
Is it live action or is it a cartoon?
It's live action, directed by fucking David Lynch. And in the
Is it normal?
It's the people in it are odd, but it's not like weird, dreamy like Mulholland Drive or
I fucking hate Mulholland Drive. I will never watch a David Lynch movie. I will not watch Twin Peaks.
Dude,
fuck all of it.
The Straight Story blew my fucking mind. Like, I saw it last year, just like, yeah, okay, because the curiosity was a G-rated David Lynch movie.
Yeah, right.
From Disney.
Right, exactly.
And the story is about this guy named Alan Straight. I think his first name's Alan. This happened in the early 90s where he was really old. He was like in his 80s or 90s, and he found out that his brother, who lived hundreds of miles away, had a stroke, and he had no way of like getting out there. He was too old to drive. His daughter could not drive him because she was, I think she was mentally handicapped. And Sissy Spacek played the daughter in that movie and fucking did a killer role.
I don't know who that is.
Carrie, the original Carrie.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So tremendous actress. She's in a lot of other shit too, but she played the daughter, and he decided one day to go visit his brother, and all he did was ride a fucking riding mower to get there to see his brother. And
like on road?
Yeah. He rode the fucking lawnmower to go see his brother. And the music and the fucking scenery, and he's just in like backcountry fucking woods and shit, and it's a movie. It's so like it's so sensitive about like people like with problems and shit, and like it really gave like this time and fucking voice to just people being honest and like just genuinely kind and good to each other. I have never seen a fucking movie like that, and I saw it twice, and it actually inspired me to go on my bike trip on my birthday last year, where I rode my bike from my hometown to the Baha'i Temple, and that was like a 45-mile trip.
Next time, I think you should do it on a riding lawnmower.
Dude, and like it's fucking great, dude. Like that movie completely changed the way I felt about movies, and a lot of people fucking hate it.
Crazy.
It's like I could understand if people say like Brent is the biggest piece of shit. Nothing happened. It's just him literally riding on his mower, taking breaks, talking to people. Yeah, I get it. The way it was done, though, and like my expectations, and it's not even on Disney Plus, which is a huge fucking travesty in my book. But I think there's some sort of like copywritten rules.
Now I'm like really curious and want to see it. And I've sworn they would never see another fucking David Lynch film.
The characters are odd and wacky, but it's not weird like that. Like the characters, like Sissy Spacek has like a speech impediment. Like that's as far as it goes, really. And then there's one scene in the movie where he's riding in his mower, and all of a sudden, like, he comes across this woman who hit a deer, and she's just freaking out about how her life is so busy, and she hits the deer and then says, like, this is bullshit, and then just drives away.
That
like,
literally sounds like a dream.
Yeah. A lot of his movies, well, not a lot, just Eraserhead and Mulholland Drive and Blue Velvet, very dreamlike and just weird like that.
Mulholland Drive is very much like a dream because it's fucking bullshit and makes no fucking sense. Fucking hate it.
Some people think that's why the movie's so great.
Yes, and they are called snobs. Here is my thing. If I need to read a fucking article to understand what the fuck your movie means, it is not art for the people. It is fucking lofty, and it's fucking bullshit.
Yeah. I will say I didn't care for Mulholland Drive, and Eraserhead was one of the hardest movies I ever had to just kind of sit through.
I've heard that as well. I've heard that Eraserhead can be really difficult to go through. Blue Velvet, remind me what the plot of that one is.
This guy, I'm trying to remember. I saw it twice. The first time I saw it, I'm like, what the fuck is this? In any case, this guy...
It's every David Lynch movie. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, like this guy comes across this woman who's having problems in the apartment, and then the guy that's her lover is like this weird fucking mafia boss, but he's like whenever he like fucks, like he puts on like an oxygen mask or some shit, and then the guy starts fucking her, and there's all this other weird shit going on in between. The second time I saw it in L.A. in this little theater. I can't remember the name of it. They have since torn it down. Everyone was laughing hysterically at the movie.
Really?
Yeah, because there's this one scene where there's another woman pursuing the main character, and she's like a wholesome, like goody two shoes type, like properly dressed, floral patterns. Nice blonde hair, like she's like that archetype. And then the woman that he's like having sex with on the side, she's like in the house naked and just fucking going hysterical. And she's like, he's trying to hurt me. So that like he's like comforting like that woman, and then the goody two shoes woman is just looking on in pure horror. And then when they showed her reaction, the whole crowd laughed so hard. And I never saw that movie like that before.
I just can't. Mulholland Drive, I saw in like 2017, and like it was like family movie night at like my dad's. And like we're all older at this point. My brother I think was at least 18, and we were watching, like it was like on like free on demand. So we're like, oh yeah, we'll watch this. It's supposed to be a really good movie. And like literally, my brother left after like half an hour, and then I waited and like watched the whole thing with my dad, and I was like, what the fuck was that garbage? And then so I'm student teaching, and one of the guys that I worked with, I love him so much, Ryan, he teaches like the film class at the school, and he tells me, I don't know how we talked about it one day, but I was like, yo man, fuck Mulholland Drive. I think he brought it up, and he's like, what are you talking about? It's one of the greatest movies of all time. And I was like, Ryan, I will fucking fight you. Mulholland Drive is stupid. He's like, well, did you get it? And I'm like, no, I didn't fucking get it. No one fucking gets it. And then he like literally sent me an article breaking down Mulholland Drive. And I was like, I read it, and I was like, here's the thing. I get that this is the analysis of it. However, fuck this fucking movie because it's horrible. And again, if I wanted to see an art house movie, I'd see a fucking art house movie. You know what I'm saying? And I'm so irrationally angry about this.
I felt the same way. I haven't warmed up to either of those movies. I will say I haven't seen them again. I understand their purpose, and I know like those movies aren't for everybody, and the people who latch onto them and like them are able to see maybe like the nuances in them. I didn't get it. I don't like those movies. Even when I was like, this is before I saw Straight Story. If I not seen Straight Story, I would like, fuck David Lynch. I hope he has diarrhea. But because I saw Straight Story, I'm like, okay, we give him a pass. But
I just can't.
Yeah, he captured. I guess like there's very few movies I know of that kind of accurately portray that feeling of a dream to where like it's nonsensical.
Yeah.
Right, but like in a dream, it's nonsensical too, where you're just in like one. For mine, I'm in one place, and then all of a sudden I'm like far, far fucking away from the previous place, but the transition made perfect sense. Like,
Sure.
it's like, oh, like, now I'm at the store. I just came from my bedroom or whatever the fuck that is. Or now I'm on the road and then I've never come home. I've never gotten out of a car or gotten into the car in any of my dreams. I'm just in the car. If that makes any sense. Like, I'm just like, when I'm having the dream, I am mobile in the car as a driver. I've never just left the vehicle or entered the vehicle in the dream. It's just like a transition, like I'm in the bedroom, I'm seeing some weird shit fall apart, and then the next thing, boom, fucking smash, cut to me on the road, holding the wheel, about to hit somebody. Every time. And David Lynch movies are kind of like that.
They are. And they also have nonsensical things, like, that just, like, happen out of nowhere. Like, in Mulholland Drive, there's the weird, like, gremlin guy who keeps popping up at the end, who is symbolic of some bullshit that I don't fucking care about. Or, like, I think another comparison might be the first part of Space Odyssey.
2001?
2001: Space Odyssey. Yes, like, where the monolith keeps appearing. Like, that's some, like, shit that, like, is kind of dreamlike. Same with Kubrick's version of Clockwork Orange. Like, shit happens in there. Like the part where Alex DeLarge is killing a woman with a penis sculpture, that is out of a dream. How he looks and acts is out of a dream. The bar that they're at where they drink their milk with the boob mannequins everywhere, that's out of a dream.
Yeah.
Or, like, the end where he's literally having the dream that he's, like, with a bunch of naked bimbos, like, internally. He's like, I was cured.
A lot of movies that do have a dream sequence, it's like kind of a trick on the audience. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm watching the first season of 6 Feet Under now. Mm-hmm. I haven't watched it ever, except
I've been told I would like it. I haven't seen it, though.
I only saw the series finale in 2005. I had no idea what the show was about. I saw the series finale, and I don't remember any of the details. I just remembered I was so blown away. So now, 15 years later, I'm finally giving the show a shot. Mm. There's a lot of sequences unrelated to, like, plot or details, but it's like, kind of like a gimmick where they are dreaming, a character enters the room, and something fucked up happens, and then you see that character, like, smash, they just wake up. And it's kind of like a trick on the audience. Like, that's kind of how I've seen dreams depicted in movies, where it seems real enough. Like, there's still, like, set decorations and all that shit. It doesn't seem a little surreal or abstract. And they're just kind of fucking doing shit. And then they're, like, looking. And then they're talking. And then, like, somebody, like, reaches out to them. And then they wake up. Like, that's, like, the trick I see in a lot of movies and television.
For sure. I've seen that. And I don't think that's, like, I think that I've rarely had a dream where, like, something is happening like that, where everything's normal. Oh, and then things start getting weird and weirder and weirder and weirder. I will say I do have dreams too. I actively will, in my dreams, sometimes be like, oh, this is a dream. Oh, here we go. Okay. My reoccurring nightmare. I have 2. 1, I'm pregnant. 2, I have really horrible tattoos all over my body that I can't get removed. Those are my reoccurring nightmares.
So what happens with the pregnancy dream?
I'm pregnant and I can't get an abortion. I'm not joking. This is my nightmare. Is that I'm pregnant and I can't get an abortion. And then I'm going to be responsible for a human. So,
like, is there a lead up to it? Like, you're in the doctor's office and you find out? Or, like, you just know you're pregnant?
No, I just know I'm pregnant. I also had a strange dream when I was in high school that I gave birth and it was an orangutan. And I'm like, Mom, now everyone's going to think I fucked an orangutan. And she was like, doesn't matter. That's your son now and you have to love him. And so I did.
Okay. That's a movie.
It should be. But I think the pregnancy and the bad tattoos just demonstrates a fear of commitment on my part. Like, to be honest.
That could be. Okay, this fucking orangutan, though. Like,
I only had it one time, but, like, I, like, was in the hospital bed and I was giving birth and I was pregnant and then all of a sudden they gave the baby to me and it was a fucking orangutan and I'm like, holy fuck, it's an orangutan. And everyone's like, no, it's not. It's your kid. And I was like, it's a fucking orangutan. And I'm like, Mom, everyone's going to think I fucked an orangutan. And she's like, that's your son. You have to love him.
I wonder if anyone ever did that as a joke in the hospital. Like when they have like the fucking blanket like kind of pinned up to where like they're doing the C-section and then it says, okay, push, ma'am. Oh my God. And then you just hear, oh, and they just hand the fucking mom like while she's all like drugged up and they just give her an actual fucking monkey. And she's like, what the fuck? This is not this is my baby girl? And then they're like, it's a beautiful baby girl monkey. And then like they just say, oh, we're just fucking with you. Here's your son. And then it's like, oh, okay.
That would require them to have a baby orangutan for the joke.
That's gotta be that's a 90s movie. That's gotta be like.
No, I agree. It is totally a 90s movie. Like,
that
woman gives birth to an orangutan.
It sounds like the original screenplay of Dunstan Checks In.
What's that?
You ever see that movie?
No.
Okay, 90s movie. This fucking, all these 90s live action Disney comedies, at the root of them are basically the dad is a workaholic that ignores the kid.
Yes.
And the whole movie is something about the kid trying to reconnect with the dad just for the dad to fucking pay attention to them.
Yes.
This is one of those movies. I don't know the lead up to it. I guess like there's a fucking zookeeper and somehow this fucking orangutan is like in the hotel. And the kid finds him and his name is Dunstan. I can't remember how you pronounce it. So then fucking Paul Rubens, who's Pee Wee Herman, is like this hunter who's trying to kill the fucking orangutan. Everyone's trying to kill this fucking thing because it looks bad for the hotel. Because the dad's boss is this like uptight hotel guy who's like, oh, we cannot have any animals in here. And then there's this scene where, you know, like they're in like the massage room, and then all of a sudden, like the masseuse, like the person's laying down and like their back is exposed, and the masseuse is like, I'll be right back. And then the fucking monkey comes in and starts like standing on them and giving them the massage. And like, this is the best massage I've ever seen. And oh my God, your fingers are so strong. And the monkey's just fucking like, It's fucking.
And it's an orangutan?
It's a fucking orangutan. So your dream is the sequel to that. Like fucking Dunstan checks out or some shit. Some goofy
checks
shit.
Out of somebody's pussy.
Yeah, and like you're the mom and you're just like still trying to cope with the fact that your son's an orangutan.
Yes.
So like, you know, when you take your kid to school, you know, like this son, his name's Dunstan, the monkey, and then he's sitting next to the other third graders and they're really friendly to him, but then all of a sudden your son just starts eating the faces of the other children and mauls them to death, and they're like, okay, we need to really consider this not being nice. And then Dunstan just like, he shrugs his shoulders, and then it's like a joke. 'Cause it's a comedy. It's a Disney movie. David Lynch made A Straight Story, and I love that movie so much. And that's all I have to say about that.
In closing, the piece of text I would like to offer up as the closest thing to a dream I've ever seen, and it has impacted my dreams, is the music video for Gimme Some Mo by Busta Rhymes. Have you seen the music video?
No.
It starts off with him talking about, like, humor me as I say these words. He's like, as a shorty, growing up in the crib, I always knew that if I couldn't be the best myself, I had to join the greatest. And then I bumped my head and someone said, oh, so you're going to switch it on him? And I said, yeah, switch it on him. Flip mode. Flip mode is the greatest. That was like his like group, Flip mode. And in my sleep, again, with the same boyfriend who I broke up with and tore my poster off the wall, he reported that I like literally in my sleep just like said flip mode. Flip mode is the greatest. And like turned over. But like the music video is like he's little. And then there's a woman who like runs up to him when he bumps his head. And then she's like fawning over him. And then he turns into a little like blue like demon thingy. He's chasing her around the house. It's like a dream. It's like cartoony, Looney Toony, like all over the place. Yeah.
Haven't seen that shit.
It's good.
It sounds like it's a lot more detailed than any of the dreams I would have, or at least in terms of like progression from making sense and shit.
Well, that one's in color, and as we know, I don't even know if I dream in color.
Damn, dude. That's fucking, it's very black and white thinking. Yeah. So, all I know is that dreams are fucking, they could be powerful, you know? Like, I've had some closure on big things in my life from dreams, but I've also kind of acted out a lot of really sick, fucked up shit in my dreams too. Most of the time they're weird, where it's random. Like I wanted to plug into an outlet in my dream, and as I was going to like the wall, all these people in the fucking room were trying to like restrain me from plugging it in to the wall. And it wasn't like that I was like going to commit suicide or it was an electric chair. It was just like a regular device. And I was like, all right, I'll just plug this into the wall. And then as I'm doing it, everyone's like crowding around me, preventing me from doing it. They're not shouting or freaking out. They're just there, and I'm climbing over them, and I'm like finding ways to get to the like outlet, and then like they just like push me back more, and I'm just like, what the fuck is this shit? And then I wake up and I'm like, oh, okay. And then there's like these other fucking dreams where, like I had one where I was driving down the street in a convertible with the top down, and I was with a girl, and then I noticed that my nuts were itching. So what I did was I just took off my nuts and held them up, and I just scratched my nuts. And that was the dream. The look on your face right now. I'm just hoping if there's any male listeners, they understand how convenient that would be to just take off your nuts to scratch them.
And this has been Coffee and Catastrophe with Brent and Gabi. If you'd like to give your comments about dreams, you can... Oh, fuck, I really fucked that one up. I'm still caught up in you talking about taking off your nuts.
Dude, it was like a regular thing, and like no, like the girl didn't react, and she had on sunglasses, and...
She didn't react that you took your balls off to itch them?
No.
Did you itch them with one hand, or you hold them with one hand and itch them with the other?
I held them in one hand as if it was like a fucking like goblet being served at a restaurant, and then I just like took the other finger and just scratched the nuts. I didn't even feel the itch. I was just scratching them as I was holding them in my hand.
Flip mode. Flip mode is the greatest. So if you liked what you heard, you can like us at Coffee and Catastrophe on Facebook. Our website is coffeeandcatastrophe.com. You can follow us on Twitter at CCWPG. You can subscribe to us on YouTube. Feel free to shoot us a tweet or leave us a comment about your dreams and any weird dreams you've had. Have you had any crazy dreams where you gave birth to an orangutan? Let me know. And in the meantime, take care, be good to each other, and follow your dreams.
Yeah.